Okay, now I'm going to take a look at LAC, Lithium Americas Corp. This stock is on the TSX. It's also on the U.S. markets as well. I'm going to take a look at the TSX version because I'm Canadian. Okay, let's take a look. Pretty big breakout today. There was a double bottom on the daily. Had that double bottom. Nice consolidation there. Broke bearish. Trapped some bears in there. A little bit of a volume spike on the breakdown. Indecision candlestick at the low. Held that support and now went straight bull. The next resistance that we're looking at is up here around that $20 mark on the Canadian side, 2015. That's the resistance area that we're looking at. And it's a pretty big resistance area because it's been tapping around this resistance area several times before. Around here. It is above the level it was here. But in general, this area in general is a resistance area, possibly a little bit of a downsloping resistance area right here. So this is what we're looking at LAC. LAC seems to be correlated with Tesla and Albemarle, I don't know how to say the word yet. Seems to be correlated with those stocks. Albemarle, I'm not going to say it again, is a big lithium company in the U.S. I think it is the biggest one in the world. Is it hitting all-time highs? Yes, it is. At all-time highs. A little bit of a volume spike today. A little bit of an upper wick of profit taking. I wouldn't be surprised. A little bit of a pullback on that tomorrow. Possibly a gap up. A little bit of a pullback on Albemarle. And I would watch that for clues. Whatever happens here, there's a good chance LAC is somewhat correlated with it, and even Tesla, because they're all in that EV sector. They're all in that clean energy sector. So they're all moving together. So this is a clean energy movement right now. They're all moving together. You look, there's a lot of correlation there. Even CCIV was up today. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised LAC breaks this resistance area around that $20 mark on the Canadian side, sucks some more people in, squeezes some bears, triggers their stop losses, and then it pulls back. A little bit of a fake out to the upside because then it might be a little bit overextended there, too far from the red line. We could, if we open lower, I would think then it's going to push higher. If we open around here and we open a little bit lower around that upper daily Bollinger Band, I would think we're going to get a push higher. If we open higher, well, the saying goes, gap ups are for selling, gap downs are for buying. So gap down, buy, gap up, sell. That would be my take. That's how I would play it. Levels that we're looking for, again, that around that $20 mark on the Canadian side. Let's take a look on the U.S. side quickly. U.S. around that $16 mark, that clear resistance area, right around that $16 mark on the U.S. side. You want to see that break. You want to see the $20 break on the Canadian side. That's a clear resistance area. The chart looks pretty good on the hourly. Most of the volume appears to be at those lower levels, right around here. Actually, we got some of the volume at the highs too, so let's be a little bit cautious there. Volume at the high here. Volume at the high here. Still looks good overall. I think, obviously, the support that we're looking at right now is around 1550 US. Otherwise, looks different over here. But that's because it includes the aftermarket on the US side. Let's look at that support around 1920 Canadian. You can bottom fish around there. Look to get a bullish position right around that support. Hope for that double bottom and then push higher. Get that break and get above that $20 mark on the Canadian side. Make some quick profits. If you're a bear, you could be looking to short around the high of today with a stop loss above the high of today. Or if it gaps up, you could be looking to take a short position because gap ups are often for selling unless it's a huge short squeeze tomorrow. We're already getting a bit of a squeeze. We already had a little bit of a volume spike today. But the volume isn't that high, just over 1 million on the Canadian side. On the U.S. side, 7.6 million. That's not a huge volume spike. So this rally might not be done. Perhaps look for it to break this resistance on the U.S. side. On the U.S. side, the resistance, critical, 1671. I wouldn't be surprised it breaks that, then gets a bit of a pullback. Let's take a look on the weekly. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders on the weekly. So this longer-term time frame is starting to play out pretty promising. RSI starting to show some strength. Possible bullish MACD cross forming on the weekly. Some good signs on that longer-term chart. Makes a critical, clear support area here. Longer term trend support line. Wow. I just want to say, wow, I identify this stuff. I didn't even look at this before. This is just all off the top right now. I'm like one of those guys at the show. What is it? You know, that's talking really fast, trying to, at the auction, you know, I don't know what they're called. I'm that guy with stocks. So clear support area over here, keeps bouncing off this area multiple times. Very clear support area. The long-term trend is looking good overall. It's holding that 50-week moving average. The 50-week moving average is that yellow line that you see over here. Looking pretty good on the longer-term chart. And the shorter-term chart, looking good as well. I do think we're going to get a break above this area. I think if it opens below, good buy for a quick trade. Nice push above that high. Nice squeeze. And then next day, we'll see a pullback. That would be my thought, my bias, just on the way this looks. I've seen similar setups like this before. If it gaps up, though, then I would think they're going to be a pullback. So if it opens really high, then I think they're going to be a pullback. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll see how that plays out. That's what I would be looking at tomorrow. This is not financial advice. This is just my thoughts. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out my site, 10baggerstocks.com. That's 10baggerstocks.com. That's my official site. I'm the only 10-bagger. Okay, any other baggers out there, they're not me. I'm 10-bagger. Thank you guys so much. Check out my Instagram as well. It's 10baggerstocks on Instagram. That's my only Instagram. I also have a backup page, 10bagger VIP. Take a look at that. Thank you guys so much. Have a nice night.